Peace up, A-Town down. Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to BRASH Sports Live Super Bowl Edition, coming to you live from Las Vegas, a.k.a. Lost Wages, a.k.a. Glitter Gulch, a.k.a. the Boneyard, a.k.a. the marriage capital of America, a.k.a. the divorce capital of America, a.k.a. Sir, you can't do that in here. I don't care who or what BRASH Sports is, but if you don't leave immediately, we will have you forcibly removed, but best known as Sin City. Brandon, we are both out here for the Super Bowl to give you live coverage. Now, we're both here. We both brought our equipment, but for some reason, we're still doing it from separate hotel rooms. But either way, it's great to see you, man. Actually, we've got a big episode.
I'm in the BRASH trailer right now. I brought my step into the trailer, so,
That makes sense.
Yeah, it just, gives it a nice cozy feel. I want to feel like I'm still at home.
Yeah,
it's been, because we're far from it. I mean, it's been a wild week in Vegas, having to do the media week, Radio Row. I mean, my God, celebrities galore out here in Vegas.
Yeah, I just got back from the blackjack tables. I'm only down $17,000 for the week, so it could be a lot worse. But I'm excited to get back into it, get into this episode. It is our birthday episode.
Happy birthday to BRASH.
Happy 2-year birthday, BRASH Sports. Finally, a toddler, finally walking, talking, getting ready to potty train, all the things. So this is a big one for us. Some would say this is our Super Bowl.
Absolutely, man. I mean, anytime you reach that marker of the 2 years officially, or, and next year, it's always going to be falling on the Super Bowl episode. It couldn't have worked out any better for us. So, our Super Bowl episode is our favorite episode. It's so easy to talk about. And there's a lot to get into, my friend. So, let's dive right into it. We're going to talk a little NFL honors, because those awards were passed out. They also named the Hall of Fame inductees, which I gotta pull up that freaking list because, of course, I did not do that.
Nice.
And then, of course, we're going to talk about the matchup, which is the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. And we'll make our predictions. You already probably have yours set in stone, seeing as how this Super Bowl is one that you predicted a year ago.
Yep. Roll the clip. Roll the clip again. Just keep rolling the clip.
Roll that clip. Roll that beautiful bean footage. And then we will talk about our BRASH parlay, because the Super Bowl parlay is a big one. We hit it last year. $6 paid out $420. I'll never forget it. So we got to get a streak going here. We got to go 2-0, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess it'd be 2-1 if we did one before then, but maybe not.
We didn't.
I don't think
we did not do a parlay the first episode.
Yeah, we were late to the party on that one. So,
but that's good because we're undefeated. So we were novice back that first episode. If you go back and watch it, it's a totally different vibe, totally different scenes. We're totally different people. We've grown as changed. People, and we're way more degenerate gamblers than we used to be. So. And it's for the listeners' benefit that we throw out these amazing picks, amazing parlays for them to watch. I've got a ton of bets that I'm going to throw out there. We're going to run through some prop bets as always.
That's right.
It's going to be a really fun episode.
Can't forget that. I love
it's going to be it's the best, dude. It's going to be a fun episode. I can't fucking wait.
So let's start off just by acknowledging the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. We don't have to dive too deep into this. But it is a stacked class. Talk about a class that makes us feel old, Josh. I mean, a lot of these guys are guys that we enjoyed watching in our youth. And, now they are headed to the Hall of Fame. And starting off with Dwight Freeney, a stud defensive lineman for the Indianapolis Colts. You have this one I'm not familiar with. This must be an oldie. A Randy Gradishar, probably butchering that name, linebacker for the Denver Broncos. By the jersey they're showing, this picture he's wearing, it looks like it was from like the 1980s. So Probably wasn't.
Good for him, man. Finally got in.
Yeah, good for old Randy. Devin Hester, one of the most electrifying players we've ever seen. He has the record for most kickoff returns for a touchdown and punt returns, right? And the
Super Bowl. He returned the opening kick of the Super Bowl, which is
he's the only one to have ever done it and will ever do it. That'll never happen again. Mark my words.
Or when
Mark my words, Josh. No, the Chiefs don't have Dante Hall anymore, so we don't have to worry about that happening this year.
True.
Andre Johnson, this is my favorite. I am a diehard Andre Johnson fan. He won me, I think, 3 fantasy football championships back in the day. He was always one of my first picks when we did our drafting. So I love Andre Johnson. Well-deserved. I'm happy he is making his way to Canton. Steve McMichael for the Chicago Bears. Are you familiar with this one, Josh? Because I'm not.
Oh, yeah, dude. Big Steve McMichael guy. Had his jersey. I tried to get it autographed, but there were so many fans rushing him to try and get autographs that I wasn't able to. His bodyguards shut it down pretty quickly once they saw the amount of fans trying to get to him. But yeah, no, I'm finally, just like you're thrilled Andre Johnson's in. I'm thrilled that Steve, whatever. I already forgot
Steve
his name.
McMichael, nicknamed Mongo. He was a defensive. Mongo was a defensive tackle for the Bears.
It's a great nickname for a
really
defensive tackle.
Nickname, right?
Mongo up the middle.
Yo, it's Mongo again. We should have seen this coming.
Big tent block Mongo.
He played for the Pats, Bears, and 1 year with the Green Bay Packers before retiring at the end of the 94 season. Julius Peppers, come on. Julius Peppers had to make it in. That guy was an absolute freak on the D-line for the Carolina Panthers. That is well-deserved. And really, a lot of people are saying this last one is the highlight of the Hall of Fame class of 2024. It's Patrick Willis, who was one of those guys, linebacker, of course, for the San Francisco 49ers, absolute stud. And he was one who retired young. He went out on top, in his prime. And you just don't see that a lot. But he was still recognized as a Hall of Famer. So good for Patrick Willis.
Yeah, him and Luke Kuechly, to me, are very similar in when we were lucky enough to see them play, and they were as good as I've ever seen at linebacker. So smart, strong, always knew what play was going to happen and was always on top of the ball. So yeah, I saw that name and I was very happy for him. He's an absolute stud. And these names, you're right. I do feel old, but dude, it took me back to a time when, football was, and it still is, everything. I mean, fuck, dude, we have a goddamn podcast that pretty much talks about nothing but football. But these names, dude, took me back to a time when that's really when I was getting into it deep, watching combines, dude, like studying. I would buy before you could just Google anything. You would buy the fucking fantasy football magazines off the rack and go through and highlight people and shit. Like, dude, those were the best times for watching football, at least in my life, because the Giants were also kind of relevant back then too. But yeah, man, these names, feeling old, but really happy for all these guys, especially Steve McMichael.
Mongo, of course. A couple finalists worth noting that did not make it this year, but will certainly make it in the future. They absolutely have to. Reggie Wayne, of course, another receiver from the U who had a stellar career with Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. And still no London Fletcher, my friend. He yet again did not make it in, which is a little sad, seeing as how Patrick Willis made it in the short career he had. And London Fletcher was in the league for 15 years.
For a long time.
But whatever. I know Fletch will get in eventually. So moving right along, they went ahead and gave us our list of yearly or annual awards. Starting off with and this is in no particular order, just the order I decided to go in today. Starting off with the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think we all kind of knew this was an easy one for anyone that had to vote. Houston Texans starting quarterback C.J. Stroud. I mean, what a great rookie campaign he had. Texans got lucky as shit that he fell to them number 2 because I feel like if they had, I mean, it's 1 year. I don't want to start bashing Bryce Young just yet, but I think if Bryce Young had gone to the Texans, they probably wouldn't have been as successful as they were this past season. So
no chance.
Good for CJ Stroud, and he deserves it, of course. Defensive player.
And I'm just real quick before we move on, I'm going to go ahead and pat myself on the back for the last time, because this is probably the last time we're going to talk about it. I said on this
high on Stroud,
on the record, high on Stroud. I said he would be the best quarterback. Still feeling good about that. I know it's only 1 year, but I'm patting myself on the back while I still can, because we're not going to have many opportunities to continue doing that. So just doing it one more time. Just getting it out there.
NFL Defensive Player of the Year. This one came as a bit of a surprise. Frankly, I thought TJ Watt was snubbed. I thought that he deserved Defensive Player of the Year this year. I am a huge TJ Watt fan, but it went to Myles Garrett. I mean, you can't really say a bad thing about Myles Garrett and the season that Browns defense had. I mean, they finished number 1 in yards allowed all season. So, he gets the award there for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, there's plenty more opportunities for TJ Watt, so shouldn't be too disappointed. Defensive Rookie of the Year, surprise, surprise, the second pick that the Texans made, and Will Anderson Jr. I mean, wow, way to go, Houston Texans. They certainly won the draft last season by locking up those guys. It was picks 2 and 3, right? Is that how they did it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was genius move.
And we should both take a minute to pat ourselves on the back, knowing that the Texans would have an amazing season. We knew they would overperform.
Yeah.
We're both on record for that. And Will Anderson obviously had a huge role in that.
I simply said they would surprise people. Now, they surprised even me.
Did they? Yeah, they surprised people, dude.
Because I didn't see him getting a playoff win. I'll be honest about that. That shocked me.
Yeah, that would have been
NFL Coach of the Year, Josh. This one, just going with my own personal pick, I felt like Dan Campbell, probably I would have given the nod for Coach of the Year this year. And I believe one of your bold predictions last season was Sean Payton getting Coach of the Year.
Patting myself on the back.
Yeah, but they did finish pretty strong with the horrible start that they had. So, you could make an argument, I suppose, but it was Kevin Stefanski, another representative of the Cleveland Browns, winning Coach of the Year. And I guess you could say, I mean, what did they finish with? 11 wins. Pretty impressive in a tough division in the AFC. And he had to go with, Joe Flacco there at the end of the season, the last 6 games, right? So, there are a lot of moving pieces. They had a lot of injuries. Again, it's hard to say, oh, he didn't deserve it. I mean, no, I think, for the purposes of that award, I think he deserves to be recognized.
Totally. No, I think if it was him or Dan Campbell, I don't think anyone has a problem with it.
Yeah.
Like, I think both of those guys could have easily gotten the award. Give it to the Browns because the Lions made a playoff run, I guess. Like, let's help these poor Browns fans out. Let's give them something. So
I feel like, though, if the Lions were going to the Super Bowl, Dan Campbell would be Coach of the Year.
Yeah, probably.
Those fourth down calls that did him in.
They're supposed to be regular season awards, though. Let's not lose sight.
That's true. Offensive Player of the Year goes to San Francisco running back Christian McCaffrey. I mean, this one, again, I felt that's an easy one because they have the Offensive Player of the Year and the NFL MVP. MVP, right. 9.9 times out of 10 is going to go to an offensive player, and 9 times out of 10 is going to go to a quarterback. So Christian McCaffrey deserved some recognition, and he got the Offensive Player of the Year. The NFL Comeback Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Did you see who this was?
Yeah, Joe Flacco.
It was Joe Flacco, who,
Yeah.
again, he started 6 games for the Browns. And, he had it was impressive what he was able to do. That said, about the stink in this, right?
Did he only played 6 games?
Well, he only played 6 games. And it's like, what does comeback player of the year really mean? I think this changes the definition of how this award is viewed, or the purposes of it, of the recognition, because again, yeah, it was cool seeing him win games with the Browns. Nobody expected that. And getting to that 11-win mark, or bringing them, assisting them to that 11-win mark towards the end of the year. But how would you not pick Damar Hamlin as the NFL Comeback Player of the Year? I think they got this one 100% wrong. I mean, when you have a player that died on the field and then comes back to life and then plays in an NFL game the next year, that's the definition of NFL Comeback Player of the Year, in my opinion. He deserves the Phoenix Award for that one. So Damar Hamlin got absolutely screwed, because how many times are you going to see that? I mean, hopefully never again.
Well, if it happens enough times, maybe they'll make a Phoenix Award.
There you go.
That would actually be really fucking badass. Like, you win that, you died on the field and you came back. Here's your award. If it were me, I actually probably would have voted for, if not Damar Hamlin, because I'm a softie. I think Baker Mayfield should have won this, because I had written the Buccaneers off. I had written Baker Mayfield off. I thought they were just going to be trash. I thought they would compete with Arizona, who I was also wrong about. I thought they'd compete for the worst team in the NFL, and they made the playoffs. So they won the division. I think you got to go with Baker. Everybody had written him off. Nobody gave him a shot to do anything in Tampa, and he put together a really good season, and he played the whole season. I think that's important. That matters. I would have gone with Baker, certainly over Joe Flacco. If not, then Damar Hamlin, just give it to the guy because he fucking died playing your sport and came back to life.
And then played the next season. I mean, come on. Whatever. Again, we don't really do we really know who really votes on this?
I think it's writers, like the Associated Press.
Okay, it's the same people that do like Baseball Hall of Fame and shit like that.
Yeah. I think NFL, I do not know. It could be a combo.
NFL MVP of this past season. I mean, this one, I predicted. I mean, I think we all are in agreement that Lamar Jackson absolutely deserved MVP. I mean, without Lamar Jackson, what would the Ravens have done this year? He absolutely carried that team, brought him as far as he possibly could, until he did what he did and had a bad playoff game and ended their season. But we'll let the what gives crowd shit on him for that. But
I blame the coaches more than him at this point, though. Looking back on that game, they set him up to be fucked. So
whatever you do, don't hand that ball off.
Yeah, don't you even think about it. I know it's working, but don't.
If it crosses your mind, we will make sure you're not voted as MVP. What? So there you have it. Those are the awards. There's a Walter Payton Award. I already clicked out of it. It was like C.J. Hayward or some shit for the Steelers or something. I don't know.
Cam Hayward.
Was it Cam? Is that his name?
Well, I know Cam Hayward is a guy.
Okay, all right.
And apparently a really good guy. If you
okay, Cam Hayward. You're right. Yeah. I don't know where the hell I got C.J. from, but yeah, Cam Hayward. All right. He is a defensive tackle for the Steelers. So
yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah, nice, good. That's good. So I mean, they'll be recognized again prior to kickoff on Sunday. Is that right, Josh?
I'm sure they will. They have to fill 10 hours of pregame. I'm sure they will.
Do. There's a lot going on. Okay, and I guess where do you want to go here? Do you want to start off with our matchup? I thought it'd be cool to go down the line in terms of like positions. For each particular team, see who has the edge, and based off of our little checklist here, kind of give us an idea of where we're leaning for our outcome of this Super Bowl 58, and then we can move into our prop bets. And then we'll do Then we'll do predictions, and then we'll do our parlay. What do you say?
Prop bets, then predictions. Okay. Dude, I'm good with whatever, man. I'm feeling great.
The prop bets have nothing to do with the parlay, and we have to end it on the parlay. I mean, that's just the way.
Very true.
So you got to see it off that way. We got to stick with what works, and it worked last time.
Yeah.
So
no, I've got all the time. Dude, my hooker is not going to be here for like 2 hours.
Oh, nice.
So I've got plenty of time.
Good.
Plenty of time.
All right. So yeah, I mean, there's really not much to this. I literally just jotted this down while we were doing our prep work for the episode here. But Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers, positionally, we are starting off, of course, with probably the most important position on any team, and it is the quarterback. And we are, of course, comparing Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy. I think this is fairly easy. I mean, I do think, I want to say, I think Brock Purdy has not gotten the respect that he deserves this season. And I think really, no matter what he does, I think, just throwing it out there, if the 49ers win on Sunday, he still won't get the recognition he deserves. He'll always be Mr. Irrelevant. And now, that said, if he's holding a high Lombardi trophy, who gives a fuck? I don't think he'll care, but that will always hurt him. Now, that said, when you're comparing the guy against Pat Mahomes, who is, by all accounts, the best overall quarterback in the league, you kind of got to give the edge to the Chiefs there. Is that right, Josh?
I mean, yeah, this is, to me, the easiest one and the biggest discrepancy between both teams is that one has an all-time great quarterback. That's right, all-time, not just like, his past. I'm talking you can start comparing him to great quarterbacks in NFL history. So, yeah, dude, it's Mahomes by a mile, and I think it's the only one where there's a true discrepancy between the two teams, because I think as we go through this list, a lot of the positions are going to be close-ish. Like, 49ers definitely have some leverage in a lot of places positionally. They have the best roster in the NFL, in my opinion. But to compare Mahomes and Purdy it's almost laughable. Like, Mahomes is so much better, so much more experience. And yeah, Purdy didn't get a ton of credit this season, but I don't know. I don't think it's totally unjustified. I mean, he's got the best skill players in the NFL. He's got one of, if not the best play caller in the NFL. He didn't have to really do anything too crazy. And when he plays bad, they look really bad. Like, he's had to bail him out of a couple games in the playoffs. So I don't know. I think it's Mahomes by a mile, and then the rest of the positions will be more of a conversation.
Now, if you're a stat geek and you simply were just going by the numbers of this particular season, Purdy surprisingly does have the edge there.
I don't think it's that surprising, actually.
But
dude, put Mahomes on the 49ers and they're undefeated.
That's a good point.
They would cancel the Super Bowl because whoever was representing the AFC, they wouldn't even show up. They'd be like, no, they can have it. We forfeit. Like, it wouldn't be fair. So that's going to be the knock on him until he does something really special. Like, if he has an unbelievable game and outduels Mahomes, then without question, he will gain the respect of everyone. But I just don't think he's done enough to gain that respect just yet, based on the fact that he's leading a roster of absolute studs in every fucking position. You know what I mean?
No. That's an easy one. Let's move right along, Josh, to the running back position. Again, this is another one where it feels kind of easy. I mean, I hate to sleep on Isaiah Pacheco. He is an absolute stud. He's going to have a stellar NFL career, and he's extremely fun to watch. But when it comes to those intangibles, also being part of the receiving game that McCaffrey gives you, you have to go with Christian McCaffrey. I mean, the man is arguably one of the best running backs we've seen ever. I mean, he's right up there with LaDainian Tomlinson in my opinion.
Dude, it's so funny you said LT, because I was going to say he's the best running back since LT, maybe Adrian Peterson actually probably is, but like since those guys, I mean, it's been years since we've seen a running back as dynamic as Christian McCaffrey. I've been a big CMC guy for a long time. I think he's unbelievably underrated, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think he's finally starting to get some recognition, some respect, putting some respect on his name. But yeah, he's so fucking good. But Pacheco, dude, is so tenacious. He runs hard. He runs with passion. And I think, on a team with such limited weapons that, the Kansas City Chiefs have, their wide receivers are garbage. It's important for them to have a guy like Pacheco that can just be a dependable, hey, we're going to hand it to you, fight for 3 or 4 yards to make these, second and third down throws more manageable with our shitty wide receivers. I think he's huge. So the gap to me is not as big from like CMC to Pacheco, but it's still pretty big. CMC is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, this year alone, Pacheco, again, great season, big part of that Kansas City attack. 935 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns against McCaffrey's 1459 rushing yards and 14 rushing touchdowns. Not to mention his 7 receiving touchdowns to boot. Pacheco only 2 receiving touchdowns. So got to give the edge there. 2 checks for the San Francisco 49ers. We are dead heat right here, Josh. It's nice and even. Wide receiver core. This one's interesting because there's one team in the Super Bowl that leads the league in drops this season, and there's another one that has 2 stellar wide receivers that just never they never fail. They're super reliable, and they have a different play style. Talking of course about Debo and Ayuk for the 49ers. And I'll be honest, I really don't pay much attention to the Chiefs wide receivers. I mean, there's the Rashee Rice guy that we've, has become one of Mahomes' favorite targets as of late. But
it's another guy I was really high on him, and then he underperformed, but he's been playing really well as of late, like coming into the playoffs and through the playoffs, but it doesn't even compare.
It's not even close, right?
Even compare.
Yeah.
No, it's not even close.
Yeah. So, I mean, the 49ers wide receivers are
not
so
worth
much spending too much air on that one. So here you go. Niners get the edge now overall with the wide receiver core. This is fun. Tight end. I mean, both these teams have future Hall of Famers, in my opinion, at the tight end position. And I like both these guys. One of them annoys me more than the other one, but I mean, when it comes to skill set, it's really tough to say for me personally, because I think they both have the same amount of talent. I just think one is more of a centerpiece for his offense in Travis Kelce than Kittle is for the 49ers. I think the 49ers spread the ball more, and again, it's good because they have those 2 stud wide receivers to rely on. But I mean, imagine how different Mahomes' early career would have been without Travis Kelce there by his side, as a security blanket. So
he's not in the conversation as one of the best ever.
So, I mean, for me, it's even. I mean, I hate to say that because it kind of goes against, what we're doing here, but I can't give the edge. I mean, I guess I would give the edge just to the Chiefs just simply because they utilize Travis Kelce more than the Niners utilize George Kittle.
That's fair. I mean, if you're just going on, talent versus talent, there's probably not too huge a gap between Kittle and Kelce. Like Kelce's a little bigger, Kittle's probably a little faster. But I think Kelce has the edge, and I say that pretty confidently. Like,
okay,
and I think the biggest difference in their games is that Kittle runs routes and he's hard to guard, but Kelce improvising when Mahomes is scrambling, Kelce is just so good at finding the gaps in the defense, and it's always like, oh, how is he so open? That's just
That's
what
true.
he does.
But
He just finds the gaps. I think he's really underrated at reading defenses and knowing where the gaps are going to be, so that if the play breaks down, he knows where he's got to go. Which I don't think Kittle does as much. Like, he's not a scramble and make something happen guy as much as Kelsey is. And when you have Mahomes as your quarterback, he's constantly going to, like, the play's usually never fucking dead. So Kelsey to me is just a step up because of that. But yeah, from a raw talent standpoint, there's not too much of a difference between the two. But I would definitely give the edge to Kelsey.
I do think, just for what it's worth, and we'll move on, I do think Kittle is a better blocking tight end. He does that a lot more.
He does that extremely
Kelsey
well.
doesn't really, he doesn't really do that, nor does he really have to. I mean, there's that's just the way they scheme. These two teams are very different in the way they scheme.
Yeah.
Or of course, we're not going to break down every single position on the defensive side of the ball. That would take way too fucking long. So we're just going to put the defensive units together here.
Yeah, for sure.
And who do you think has the edge overall, Josh, for the defense when it comes to the Chiefs and the Niners?
Edge overall. Okay. I would say the Chiefs.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs are a better unit. And I think that Steve Spagnuolo has those guys just humming right now. When you put Spags in a Super Bowl, he just knows how to dial up different blitzes and schemes to confuse quarterbacks and get them uncomfortable. And you've got Chris Jones, who's Nick Bosa is the best defensive player in this game, but Chris Jones is not that far behind him. And then you have the best cornerbacks, easily Chiefs. And then linebackers, you got to give the edge to the 49ers, but I don't think the linebackers just isn't that important of a position as much as it used to be back when Patrick Willis was dominating. So I think overall it's the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, I would give the edge on defense, but it's not a huge margin. But pass rush, cornerbacks for sure. I give the edge to the Chiefs. Linebackers, Niners, but
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree that as a whole, of course, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I think they've just been more consistent throughout the, all the way up until this point. I strongly disagree though with the secondary. I might eat my words, and I brought this up to you when we discussed it the other night, but I think that the Niners secondary has the Chiefs secondary beat. They're better at forcing turnovers, and I'm looking it up right now, buddy. I mean, this is not. I mean, this is true. I mean, the interceptions for the season. This season, how many interceptions do you think the Chiefs had?
not many. They didn't force a ton of turnovers this
year. They had 8.
I don't know, 5.
And then how many 8. do you think the 49ers had?
12.
22. They had 22. So that's just...
That doesn't mean that much to me.
Really?
Just if you're looking at raw coverage, I promise you, L'Jarius Sneed is better than Charvarius Ward. Easily. So there's your number one guy. I think L'Jarius Ward can get on Ayuk and just shut him down. Okay. And I think, top to bottom, their secondary is better. They're young. We don't know their names because they haven't been in the league for a long time, but they're young, they're hungry, they're fast, they're very good. I've been watching them closely, dude. I was early on this Chiefs defense. They're a force. And I wouldn't get too hung up on the interception numbers. I don't think it's that big of a difference.
That's true. I mean, you're right, because when I look up, who else has 22 interceptions this year, the Chicago Bears. I mean, not many people are talking about how great their defense is. So that's a good point. All right. Well, I mean, again, regardless, I give the overall edge for defense to the Chiefs. So here we go. Now the Chiefs have, they've now taken the 3-2 lead here. Let's go to place kicker, Josh, between Harrison Butker and Jake Moody. I think this one's, again, fairly easy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Butker. It's
Butker.
Easy all day. He's made some really clutch kicks. So we do not have to spend too much time.
No. And I just feel like we've just, we've seen more from Butker. because Jake Moody's still in an early part of his career, right? I mean, he's still a young kid.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Maybe at the end of their careers, we'll be looking back and saying, man, we didn't really pay attention to that Jake Moody kid.
Dude, who knows this game? He could make some really clutch kicks this game and get our attention.
Jake
Who knows?
Moody, MVP? I don't know. We shall see.
That would be
something.
The shock of a lifetime, dude.
All right. And then, I, at the end of this, decided to go with head coach Andy Reid versus Kyle Shanahan. Again, it feels like it's pretty easy decision.
It's easy, but it's not a huge gap. Like, I think Kyle Shanahan has proven to be a top 2 or 3 coach. Easy. Like, dude, he schemes really well. He puts good teams together. Like, he's very
since he came into the mix there in San Francisco, they've been a contender. I mean, they've been a force. They're consistently good. If the Niners don't win on Sunday, they will win a Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan. Like, that's just one you can really take to the bank, in my opinion. But again, when you're just thinking about the overall, what we have to work with thus far, and the experience, you got to go with Andy Reid. So there you go.
Yeah. If you look at the number of cheeseburgers consumed alone, I mean, Andy Reid just dominates. So he's our guy, dude. We've been Andy Reid fans. We hated him when he was at the Eagles, but we hated him because we knew how great a coach he was. And, he's come a long way, and now is going to, end up retiring one of the greatest ever. So good for him, dude. I've always liked the guy. So in our little matchup comparisons here, we got the Chiefs with a nice edge, 5-2. Yeah. Hey, look who's calling me.
Oh, bad timing.
Bad timing.
All right. So there you have it. Want to move into our prop bets, Josh? Is it time for some Super Bowl 58 prop bets?
Yeah, I mean, if we just broke down the positions, might as well dive into some prop bets, which is, I mean, one of the funnest things about the Super Bowl every single year is spending money recklessly on stupid, shitty prop bets. Now, I will say there's less kind of random ones this year. They were harder to dig up for whatever reason. So I did a little more on the actual player prop side of things. But there are some fun ones mixed in at the end. But first, let's just get into these player props. It's just simple over-unders. Most of these are going to be at even odds, like -110. So Patrick Mahomes' number is set at 262.5. Brandon, you give me the over or the under. I'm gonna jot them down so we can revisit.
262.5. 62.5. I'm gonna go under. Going under.
Ooh, okay. There it is. Our first disagreement.
I like it.
I've got the over. I think I've got some stats. Once we break down the game, I'll share some interesting stats about that. I do think it's over though. Patrick Mahomes, 26.5 rushing yards. What do you think? Over or under?
I'm gonna go over.
Okay, I'm gonna go over as well. Because I think it'll only be like one rush. I think he'll have one like 30-yard rush, and then it'll just seal it.
Yep.
Next up, not at even odds, but Patrick Mahomes over under 1.5 passing touchdowns. The over is at -150, the under +122. So Vegas likes over 1.5.
Over all day.
Yeah, I won't reveal too much.
I know. We got a lot to get into here.
We got a lot to get into, but yeah, I'm on the over. And then Patrick Mahomes over or under half an interception. So will he throw a pick or not?
I know we've already touched on this a few days ago, and I do see an interception from Mahomes. I see the Niners like to intercept balls, so yeah, give me an interception.
Dude, we know how you feel about the Niners secondary, Brandon.
I really hope they have a really good game now.
I know
That's the 5th interception we've seen. This is insane.
Yeah, they're the new Legion of Boom.
They're bringing another one into the end zone.
I just have to come in here the next week and just eat my fucking words. All right, next up, let's get into some Brock Purdy numbers.
Okay.
Over under 246.5 passing yards.
Over.
Okay, I'm taking the under. So we disagree on both quarterbacks' passing yards.
I like it.
Brock Purdy, 12.5 rushing yards.
Over.
Interesting. Because I'm going over as well.
Okay, yeah.
I think he gets a little squirrely in the pocket and has to run around. We'll get into more than that later.
We certainly will.
Brock Purdy, 1.5 passing touchdowns. This is a lot closer to even money. Over is -120, under -102.
Yeah, I'm going over.
I'm going under.
Oh, you think he just throws the one?
Just one. And I think, they do a lot of work on the ground. I'll just leave it there. All right, Brock Purdy, half an interception. So will he throw one or not? The over is -132. The under is +108.
Say that one again.
Interception. Is he going to throw an interception or not?
Oh, is he going to throw an interception?
Vegas likes the over.
No, he does not throw an interception.
Dude, we are disagreeing.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just making these picks on the fly. There was no homework.
To be fair, I did not. I put this list together and did not give it very much thought at all.
Good.
So
good.
I just kind of zipped through them. All right, now we're going to get into some skill positions. Travis Kelce, 72.5 receiving yards. You got the over or under?
72.5. Oh man, they know. Yeah, I'm going over.
I am going over as well. I mean, he's Travis Kelce, dude.
He's Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. George Kittle, 49.5 receiving yards.
See, that's a fucking tricky one, man. Fuck. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going under. I hope I'm wrong, though.
I've got the under as well.
Oh, wow.
The under as well. They just have too many weapons. You know what I mean? That's the problem.
Debo's gonna, show up.
Debo's gonna get
Brandon Ayuk is a big part of that offense. So yeah, I think, and that doesn't stop Kittle from having some big important plays and getting a big, first down or two. Yeah.
No, I think he has some really important third down catches, but that's not what we are looking at. Next up, your guy, Rashee Rice, 67.5 receiving yards.
Under.
Ooh, I'm going over. Okay. So that is good. Next up, Debo Samuel, 58.5 receiving yards.
Over.
I put 58.5.5.
Ooh, 0.5.
Yeah, 0.5.
Well, that changes everything. Over.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go under here as well. And then I got that backwards. Okay, cool. Brandon Ayuk, 62.5 receiving yards.
Over.
Yeah, this to me, this is the matchup to watch because I do think they're going to put L'Jarius Sneed on him and he's going to get blanketed and you're going to go, wow, Josh was right about that Chiefs secondary. They are really good because I think Ayuk gets shut out this game.
Okay. So
we will see. I'm taking under.
Okay.
I'm taking the under, and that's going to make it into my separate side bets. Isaiah Pacheco, 67.5 rushing yards.
Yeah, over.
Okay. I am actually going to take the under here, and I don't know why. I think that's a really close one. I think that's a tight line.
Okay.
And I think he ends somewhere in the 60s, and it's too close for comfort. I'll take the under. Next up, CMC, Christian McCaffrey, 89.5 rushing yards, just rushing.
You said 89.5?
Correct.
Just rushing. I'm going to go under. Yeah, I think he'll have a good... Yeah, you know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so then CMC, 128.5 total yards. That's rushing and receiving.
Yeah, over.
Yeah, I'm taking the over there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the same page. We've got Christian McCaffrey all figured out. All right, so those are your main player.
That one's doomed to fail.
Main player props taken care of. Next up, I've got Super Bowl MVP on the list.
Oh, we got to make that pick already. Okay.
Yeah, or we can hold it.
That's fine. Let's do it. Let's fuck it. Well, no, yeah, because we want to wait till our prediction. So we'll have to
let's hold it.
Let's
hold it. All right, so I'll just save that for later. All right, then we're just gonna go. You're just gonna give me yes or no for these first few. Actually, starting with the coin toss, heads or tails, Brandon.
Man, I think last year I said tails. Then again, what the fuck? I don't remember. I will go heads.
All right, I'll take tails.
Okay.
I mean, I would probably normally go tails, but...
Do they ask if the winning team of the coin toss will defer or not? Because remember last year that happened.
That is an option.
The Chiefs won the toss and deferred.
Yeah, I think... I don't know. I think that's becoming more and more common. Teams want the ball at half. I don't know, for whatever reason.
I think if the Chiefs win the toss, they defer because they have so much confidence in their defense. So
yeah,
just throwing it out there. It's not.
They want to get Brock Purdy on the field as quickly as possible.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So an old standby, the national anthem length. Will it be over 90.5 seconds?
I'll say over because it's probably a safer bet to say over on that, right?
I'm gonna go over as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they always just draw it out.
They really do.
Dude, that attention whore Reba McEntire, she's gonna.
Is that who's singing it?
I think so. Isn't she? Or is she doing American the Beautiful?
I don't even know.
I think it's a Reba McEntire. She's gonna want all the focus on me. I'm Reba. Next up, will any coach or player cry during the national anthem?
Oh, 100% yes.
Yeah. I'm team yes. Yes. Dude, you gotta cry. You get a pass. You absolutely get a pass if you're on the field at the Super Bowl and they're singing.
I think Andy Reid, and I'm gonna go that far. I think we're gonna see Andy Reid shed a tear during the national anthem.
Just they're dripping off of his mustache.
Yeah,
exactly. So good.
Yeah, you can't tell if it's sweat or tears. It's really tough. They'd have to.
That's a
go to the judges.
That is a prop bet I want to see. Next up is a fun one. It's a little crazy, but will a non-quarterback throw a touchdown?
I heard about this one. Yes, I heard it on the radio today.
Yes is plus 460. No is minus 800. So
100% yes. 100%. Between these two offensive coordinators, one of them is going to have another guy throw a fucking pass. I mean, I would see it more likely for the Niners because Kyle Shanahan loves that shit, and he's got guys like Debo and McCaffrey who are capable. Yeah.
McCaffrey's accurate.
Yeah.
No, so not a pass, a touchdown.
Oh, a touchdown. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't let you finish that.
Big difference. No, it's
fuck. Yeah. No, I'll say no.
All right. Yeah,
sorry, I know. I ruined it there, didn't I?
I wanted to say yes so bad.
I know. Yeah, I can't.
Touchdown is just so tricky.
I mean, I can see the pass, but not.
Will there be an onside kick? Yes is at plus 230. No is at minus 320.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go no.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I wouldn't actually be terribly surprised because if one of the teams gets a good lead, the other team is certainly capable of coming back and making it interesting. But yeah, you just got to lead with no on that one. And then will any player, I'm not talking about anyone specifically, will any player propose to his girlfriend on the field after the game?
Yeah, I know the rumors about what's going on with that one. That's why they tossed that out there.
Will be any player. I'm not
saying
any names.
I say no.
You know what? I'm going to say yes.
All
I'm
right.
going to say yes just to switch it up. And it'll be, some like special teams guy. It won't be anyone that we might be thinking of. Some special teamer. All right, so now we get into the Gatorade, Brandon. This is another one that people love to fucking bet on. So right now the favorite in the clubhouse is blue plus 275. You've got orange at plus 300. Coming in next is clear or water at plus 375. Next up, lime or yellow at plus 400. Red also at plus 400. Purple at plus 500. Or no liquid poured is plus 1,000.
And last year it was purple, and that's not even in there.
No, purple plus 500.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Still the longest odds. And I think they were the longest odds last year, too.
Okay, well, I'm going to go blue. That was the first color that came to my head. So I'm going with blue. I know that's, like you said, that looks like the favorite for some stupid reason. I don't know where they get that from, but
I mean, it is the best flavor, so that's probably it.
Flavor blue.
For whatever reason, when I was looking at this, the yellow Gatorade jumped out at me, so I'm going to go with yellow.
Okay. All right. I'd say blue or the clear would be my second choice.
Clear water. Okay.
Second, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now this one is one everybody's talking about. This one is really hard to pick either yes or no to. It's very close. It could go either way. So Brandon, will the game broadcast be interrupted by live images of Patrick Mahomes Sr. driving a white Bronco?
Shut the fuck up. You just threw that.
God, I swear to God, that is one that I saw in Bovada.
Oh my God.
What
a way to shit on that guy. Yeah, because he was just like arrested for a DUI again or some shit. Yeah.
So if you say yes, it's plus 100,000. So if you bet 100, you win $100,000. If they interrupt the broadcast,
they'd have to interrupt it. Like that could actually happen, and they would never interrupt the fucking Super Bowl, regardless. No.
Yeah.
God,
you're saying no? All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no as well. And so that concludes our prop bet segment. A lot of different picks, which I like.
And you jotted all those down?
I've got them all right.
Good.
Yep. I will share them with you after we wrap. I didn't want you to see them ahead of time, so I put them on a separate thing, but I'll share them with you after. And then, we got all of them.
I like it, dude. I like it a lot. Let's before we get into our predictions and see things off with our Brash Super Bowl parlay, do you mind if we take a quick commercial break?
I think we have. Don't we have to? I thought
that's right.
I thought Anderson was going to start yelling at us for not.
I know the alarm's going off, and
we're up against it.
So let's wait. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll come right back, make our Super Bowl 58 predictions, MVP, and then we will get into our parlay that will hit for the second consecutive year. So
stay tuned.
Let's do it. And we are back.
Thank you, all of our sponsors, for getting back in touch with us and having faith moving forward. It's nice to have you back. It's been a long road without your money coming in.
I mean, we're really sorry that we don't have the liberty or the authorization to show the commercials on YouTube. But, for those watching on Brash TV, thank you for being a loyal subscriber and being treated to our sponsors' commercials. So let's go ahead and get into our Super Bowl 58 predictions, Josh. Here we go. Now, it's pretty easy for you because you had made your prediction 12 months ago. Yeah. And you knew this game was coming. You said it was going to be the Niners.
Roll the footage. Roll the tape.
You said Niners and Chiefs, and so it was pretty much set in stone. You weren't gonna waver at this point from your result and how this game is going to turn out. So therefore, I'll let you kick things off. I will let you give your prediction on how the game is going to go, who's going to win, what the final score is going to be, and who your MVP is.
All right. So, yes, I made the prediction a year ago. I stuck with it. I hung in there when right before the playoffs. We did a bracket. I stuck with it. Same final score, same everything. So if it comes true, I will be a pig in shit for that reason. But also, I don't really want the Chiefs to win. I'd rather see the Brock Purdy story. I'd rather see the last guy in the draft hold up the fucking Lombardi. Like, how cool would that be?
That would be nice.
That's what I want to see. But I gotta stick with my gut, which was Kansas City 27, San Francisco 23. Now, here's a crazy stat that I saw that I'm gonna relay. Mahomes is 13-1 in indoor stadiums all time. He's 4-0 at Allegiant in Vegas. In those 4 games, he's thrown for 1,254 yards, 10 touchdowns, only 1 interception. But you go, oh, okay, well, that's against the Raiders. So in all the other games away from Allegiant, he still averages 306 passing yards per game, 33 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions in those 14 games. Like, that's fucking insane. Like, I never realized how good he was playing in a dome, but apparently he's the greatest quarterback of all time when he's got a roof over his head. Just looking at those numbers, it's really, 33-3, those are college numbers, dude. So, I just don't. I think the gap between Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes at the most important position on the field is so wide that no matter how good the roster is for San Francisco, it's not going to be able to make up the difference. When you factor in Andy Reid and you factor in Travis Kelce, who always comes up big in these big spots and big moments. I just think the Chiefs are going to find a way. They haven't been the more impressive team all year, but the defense has proven to me that they are elite. And I think Brock Purdy, these playoffs, aside from a couple good fourth quarters, which, hey, man, my hat's off to you for being clutch, but he hasn't played great in the playoffs. Like, he might be one of those guys that's just kind of average. He has tiny hands. We know this. So I think the Chiefs are going to pull it off. I'm sticking with my guns. It's not what I want to see. So thankfully I'm in a position with my, I've got the emotional hedge, right? If the Chiefs win, I can say, dude, I called this back in February of last year. Versus if the Niners win, I'm happy because it's one less Super Bowl for the Chiefs, and you get to see Brock Purdy hoist the Lombardi as Mr. Irrelevant, which would just be a badass storyline. And dude, Kyle Shanahan fucking deserves one. I'm just going to go out. I'm just going to say it. He deserves one. That whole team's been good for years. They deserve one. They put in the work. I'm ready to see someone other than the Chiefs. So I'll be rooting 49ers, but I got to stick with Chiefs 27, 49ers 23. I have to. I would get arrested if I didn't. The cops would bust down that hotel door behind me.
You can't waver from that right now.
No, that would be the fucking worst if I did that.
Now is not the time nor the place, Josh.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely not the place. So, it makes perfect sense. MVP, who you got?
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think and if you're going to bet Chiefs money line, for anyone listening thinking about doing that, bet Mahomes to win MVP, because if the Chiefs win, he'll get the MVP regardless. So you might as well get a little extra cash. Now, the other thing I wanted to say, and I'll make it quick, is the thing that terrifies me most about the Chiefs winning is that everybody thinks the Chiefs are going to win. So usually, like when the line came out and it was San Francisco favored by 2.5, that fucking threw me, because Vegas always knows something, and they always say, like, if a bet stinks, run towards it, because there's usually something up. So I'm terrified that like 95% of the tickets and the money are on the Chiefs from the gambling side, and that every expert I'm watching is picking the Chiefs because that never ends well for the team that you pick. So I'm staying away from, like, in terms of betting money line, betting the spread, I'm staying away because it's just too dicey with everybody leaning on the Chiefs.
All right, well, yeah, when the playoff bracket was dropped and we filled out our brackets, I easily had the San Francisco 49ers taking care of business, winning the NFC and representing the conference in Super Bowl 58. Chiefs, on the other hand, I had the Chiefs losing to the Miami Dolphins. That didn't happen. I then picked the Bills to beat the Chiefs. That didn't happen. And then I picked the Ravens. Absolutely, surely the Ravens would beat the Chiefs in Baltimore. That also did not happen. So, of course, naturally, with all that said, one team I thought no-brainer is going to be in the Super Bowl. The other one, I thought, no, they're going to lose in the wild card round. So, I mean, I'd be silly to not pick the Kansas City Chiefs to now knock off the San Francisco 49ers. Again, I am making a prediction based off what I think is going to happen, not what I want to happen. Of course, I'm with you. I want the Niners to win. I mean, again, it's between these, two teams who, they have plenty, the spoiled fans, spoiled franchises.
No shit.
It's not like you have to feel bad for either of them if they lose, but I just, it would be nice because you do feel like the Niners are due with the squad that they have, the coaching, the players, everything. But I just don't see it playing out that way. The Chiefs with Andy Reid and Mahomes, it kind of has that Belichick and Brady feel to it. It's really hard to pick against them in the big game. Yeah. And I learned a valuable lesson throughout their playoff run that, you don't pick against them in the playoffs. So I'm going with the Chiefs to win by a final score of, and I know this is, and again, I did put a lot of thought into it. Okay, I wanted to make it so much different, than yours, but I really couldn't because with everything I think is going to happen, with the amount of touchdowns I think are going to happen. I really think we're looking at a 27-24 game. You say 27-23, which only leaves 2 touchdowns total for the Niners on your side. I see at least 3 touchdowns for the Niners. But at the end of the day, I do see a game-winning Harrison Butker field goal sealing the deal for the Chiefs and, giving them that 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years. And I think my Super Bowl MVP, get ready, conspiracy theorists that believe the NFL is writing the script here. Travis Kelce is your Super Bowl 58 MVP. He has a spectacular day, 10 catches, fucking 120, all-purpose yards. He could tack on 2 touchdowns. I think, it's just going to be one hell of a day. He's not going to get on one knee and propose to Taylor Swift, but he's definitely going to smash, and she might find out she's pregnant before the week is done.
If she survives it.
If she survives, but she's a big girl. She's pretty tall, so she's not that small. But yeah, I mean, I had to stop what I was just gonna say. We're live. We
are live. It's a kids show, also.
It is. This is being aired on Nickelodeon this year. So
we're on a 30-second delay though, so they could just dump it if need be.
Yeah. Well, okay. Then I wouldn't want to be Taylor Swift's vagina after the game. Is all I was gonna say.
Dump it. We're the producers. Dump it.
So there you have it.
They're never going to let us do another Brash slime.
Now that's it. We've officially been booted from Nickelodeon. We'll never see them as a sponsor ever again. They were stupid to trust Brash Sports in the first place.
It's really their fault. They fucked up.
All right. Well, all that said, let's go ahead and get into the best, the cream of the crop, what it's all meant for. And these Super Bowl episodes, it is time for the Brash Super Bowl 58 parlay.
Say make money, money, make money, money, money. Make money, money, make money, money, money.
All right, Brandon, it is time to get into that Super Bowl parlay. A parlay that's got a little bit of a legacy. We are 1-0. We are undefeated. I'm trying my best to jinx it, but who knows? Maybe I'm jinxing it so much that it'll reverse the jinx. And I already know what the parlay is. I really like it this year. I loved it last year, and it hit $6 to win $420. I mean, you can't write that any better. So we're just going to have to do our damnedest to live up to those big expectations. Now, as always, we've got 2 favorites, 2 coin tosses, and 2 underdogs that we've both picked. I'll go ahead and kick us off with my favorite, meaning, you know, are the shortest odds, the ones that aren't going to pay us the most. Not necessarily my favorite bet, but it is a Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. I mean, you could fucking set your watch to it, dude. The guy just has a nose for the end zone. He is the centerpiece of that offense, and I think he's just going to get a ton of touches this game. So a Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown right now is at -210, which is absurd for any anytime touchdown. But I really think he gets into the end zone, and that is my first bet leading us in. What do you got, B?
All right, my favorite. I'm going with Travis Kelce and 50 or more receiving yards at -330. I mean, come on, that's an easy one. I believe one of the prop bets there, you said it was like 74.5 or something like that. So it was close to that. But
his even. So if you bet it at even odds, so -110. Would be 72.5 yards, and we both have over that. 50 he'll get probably in the first fucking half.
I went alternate. I mean, again, you know, we wanted to, you know, start off a little easy with our favorites, because that's how we build these things. You know, you know, it takes a village, Josh.
It really does, dude. And I consulted with the villagers, and I'm with you on that Travis Kelce train. I think he's going to have a great game. So I have him with an anytime touchdown as well. And at +100, they are giving us exact even odds. So that is the true definition. The true definition of a coin toss. And I kind of knew that I was leaning toward it heading into it. When I saw that it was even money, a true coin toss situation, I had to throw it in there. So Travis Kelce anytime touchdown, another one that in the playoffs you can fucking set your watch to. What do you got, B?
Last year we went 4 anytime touchdowns. This year we only went 3. All 3 will absolutely hit, guarantee it. My coin toss for the Super Bowl 58 parlay, Josh, is Isaiah Pacheco, anytime touchdown at -115. Lock it in. It will happen. He will get it. Whether it's a reception or carry, he's going to find his way to the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just carry. They're just going to hammer him at the goal line, dude. The way he runs so fucking hard. Hardest running back running I've seen in a long time. So I absolutely love that play. And we both think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring game than last year. So therefore, you got to dial back the anytime touchdowns. It makes sense. We both have big brains in here. We're making big things happen. But now it's time to, where the rubber really meets the road, dude. Yeah. The underdog portion. And when you have to pick underdogs in one game, right? It's not like you have a full slate of NFL to look at and go, oh, I think the Panthers are going to upset the so-and-sos. No, you got one game. You got to get in there. You got to get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this game. I think Brock Purdy is going to be a little uncomfortable. I've been saying it the whole time. What's the number one thing you're going to do if you're Brock Purdy and there are dudes in your face? You're going to look for your outlets, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You've got the number one running back in the NFL at catching the ball. So when I saw Christian McCaffrey's alternate receptions, 7+ at plus 225. That is Value Town USA Population Brash Sports. CMC 7+ catches, plus 225. One of the most confident underdog picks I've had in a long time. I feel great about that.
I like it at plus 225. Solid underdog. Feel great about that pick. And this one, it might really all come down to this one, Josh. I might be the guy. Last year it came down to the wire with your underdog pick. Yeah. And it might come down to the wire with mine. Mine might make or break it. But I wanted, I almost talked myself out of it. I actually just was scared out of it by all the coverage I was listening to today, whether it were on television or on the radio. I heard a lot of different opinions on this particular bet, believe it or not. A lot of people were discussing this, and it is Brock Purdy and his rushing yards. Overall, he, throughout the playoffs and the regular season, not really that big in the scrambling, but we did see that he's more than capable of doing so against the Detroit Lions. He proved it, and he's just good at just wiggling and finding those gaps. And
he's wiggly.
He's a wiggly little bastard. So I went with Brock Purdy, 25 or more rushing yards, which is a big, hefty plus 310. So, it's a big, stinky underdog, but I feel good about it. And another thing that, because again, I was being talked out of it all day, but I looked up the Chiefs, as good as their defense is, in the playoffs thus far, the 3 games that they've played, they have allowed at least 25 rushing yards to each one of their opponent's quarterbacks. So I think, let's stay consistent, right? Let's bring that into the Super Bowl. And I think Purdy will find himself in those situations where he needs to scramble, and it only needs to be, one, preferably 2 times, right? At least 2 times. And he could get those 25 yards. God, if it comes down to like 24 yards, that's going to absolutely kill me. But that's my underdog. Brock Purdy, 25 plus rush yards at plus 310. That brings us, Josh, to an overall 6-leg parlay of plus 72.87 and a $6 bet, as is tradition here at Brash Sports, would pay out a nice hefty $437.24. Last year it was a clean $420, but we're upping it a little bit. All right.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Go backwards? No chance. That's not how we do things around here. We've got to elevate. We got to take it to the next level. So you didn't even get a chance for me to say anything about your underdog pick. I fucking love it. It fits the narrative. He gets uncomfortable. You got 2 options, right? Dump it down to CMC or fucking book it. And he'll book it a few times. Like 25 is just not that many. Now, what we do need to worry about, though, if San Francisco is winning and he only has like 26 or 27 rushing yards, those kneel downs count against you. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful about that. So we want him to get to like 40. Like we need 40 rushing yards, which I think is totally possible. Then we'll feel safe.
Well, every kneel is like a loss of 2, right?
Yeah, it's like 1 or I think it's 2.
Okay. All right. So even if he has 30 going into that, we'd still feel pretty good.
Or maybe they'll bring in Sam Darnold to do the kneel downs. That's what a good coach would do. That's what a good coach would do.
I like that.
Now, before we sign off, I did promise some other bets that I wanted to throw out there.
Okay.
When we were signing on to this thing. So I'll run through them quickly. These were bets that I was looking at. I was trying to parlay a couple of them in. They're mostly coin flips, but for whatever reason, FanDuel was just being dumb. So the number one bet that I'm going to put a lot of money on is a 5-point teaser. Chiefs plus 7.5 and under 52.5. You combine those, you get minus 113. I fucking love that because even if the Chiefs lose, it's not going to be by more than a touchdown. And I'm very comfortable in the under. I love the Chiefs first to 10 points. I think that they come out with the better game plan and the better quarterback. And Brock Purdy's just not. If San Francisco's going to stay in it, it's going to be by getting Brock Purdy more comfortable. and he's just going to be uncomfortable at first. One we talked about earlier, Ayuk under 62.5 yards, minus 110. I love that. Hammer that. Brock Purdy over 0.5 interceptions. Talked about it earlier, minus 132. Hammering that. Mahomes under 0.5 interceptions at minus 115. Hammer that. Harrison Butker over 7.5 kicking points. Love that.
I love that. Yeah.
2 field goals, 2 extra points gets you there. Dude, free money. Or how about 3 field goals is totally possible. Like if my score isn't exactly correct, then this one I threw in there before we got into props. CMC to record a pass attempt at plus 1100, dude. Love that bet. I think that they're going to have to scheme something up, and CMC is going to be the guy to do it. So plus 1100, dude, put a buck or two on it, get paid. Fucking awesome. I also love for anytime touchdowns, Kansas City, the defense special teams I could see happening, and you're getting tons of value at plus 750.
Wow.
One that we both talked about, actually, I think you brought it up first. Brock Purdy anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
He's getting squirrely and running around.
I know, I did. I went with the rushing yards instead of the anytime touchdown.
Which is smart.
Purdy.
It's smart. He has, I think, 2 rushing touchdowns in his career. So it's also plus 900, which would have sent our parlay to the fucking moon, which would be awesome. But also, it's totally a long shot. You're going to get more value by just putting a buck or two on it, cashing it in. And then this one, Justin Watson first touchdown at plus 3,200, because we talked about Justin Watson potentially being an anytime play for the parlay. And now I feel like since we didn't put him in there, he's going to say, no, fuck you. I'll get the first touchdown. So I'm going to bet it just to be safe. And then, of course, my final bet, the exact score of this game, Kansas City 27, San Francisco 23, plus 18,000. I think I'm going to put, I'm debating between 10 or 20 on it.
Wow.
Because, yeah, dude, because 20 would pay out 3,600.
That's pretty good.
You just don't get opportunities like this very often where you predict a score of a game a year ahead of time. It just, I almost feel like I have to. But I'm not going to go more than 20 because I'm not a fucking psychopath. I'll go buy some Powerball tickets instead. Anyway, thank you for letting me ramble. I just wanted to throw these out there for all of the degenerates who stuck with us all the way to the bitter end of this long Super Bowl special. Dude, it flew by. I don't know how we're at, the amount of time that we're at. Crazy. Because
there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to cover. I feel like
we just sat down, dude. I could go another hour and a half.
I know. Well, let's go. No, that wraps it up, buddy. It is time for us to get prepared to watch the big game. Thank you for everybody for tuning in and watching. Enjoy the big game. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the festivities. Enjoy Usher.
We didn't even talk about Usher.
Well,
we don't know time.
There were no Usher prop bets. I thought you were going to throw some out there, but
no, I didn't see any, dude.
I thought that was kind of strange.
Yeah, very shameful.
Ludacris and Lil Jon will be at Super Bowl 58. That we can guarantee you. So
that's why there weren't prop bets, because it's gonna happen. So Vegas doesn't want to lose any more money. Maybe we can get Usher on the show next week and talk to him about it.
We'll have our guys talk to his guys, and we'll see what we can do.
All
right, buddy. Well, good catching up. We got a plane to catch. So get some sleep because we got to. Yeah, I think we have to leave before the Super Bowl starts. They're not
kicking us out.
They're not paying for our hotels. Throughout the. Yeah, I know. We might have to catch some of the game on the plane ride back. So,
damn,
well,
dude,
it's a bummer, man. It was nice of them to fly us out to Vegas to begin with, so we can't.
That's fair.
Beggars can't be choosers.
So I'm gonna get one more round of roulette in.
There you go. There you go. All right, my friend. I will talk to you later. See you at the blackjack table.
Peace.
Peace.
Want a lady in the street, but a freak in the bed that say.